welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you guys are doing great. So in this video, we will be discussing depth first search algorithm or DFS algorithm. So if you're someone who wants to start graph, right, you can see this video, and this is the first algorithm which normally everyone who is starting graph does, right? So some prerequisites which you should know before this video is that you should know what recursion is, and you should be able to solve recursive problems, right? So if you're not have yet started recursion and have not solved some basic problems of recursion, I would say just go first and understand what recursion is, solve some easy to medium problems, and then you should come to this problem. Okay, and you should know what backtracking concept is. Okay, backtracking you should know, like what basically backtracking is and why we do it, and there should be you should be aware of what adjacency lists are or matrices. Okay, so you should be aware of what basically adjacency list and matrices are. So this is how basically we represent our graph. Okay, using adjacency matrix or list, our graph is represented. So in this video, right, we will be discussing from start what DFS algorithm is, and after that we will be discussing code in all three languages, which is C++, Java and Python. So whichever language you code in, right, you can just skip to that section and you can see the code. But before that, let's see the algorithm first, which is common to each of the, obviously, right, the algorithm is common. So let's see that. Okay, I will share this GFG article, right, which I am referring to for depth first search in the description, right. It's a very good article and you can read it so that you better understand what depth first search algorithm is.
So guys, before moving forward, if you're someone who's trying to get a shot at top product-based companies and are having multiple failed attempts, so this is a time to recheck your preparation strategy. If you're struggling with inconsistency, lack of mentorship and lack of time, but still dream of working for companies like Google, Microsoft, Walmart, Amazon, etc., then I have a perfect upskilling platform for you, which is Boss Coder Academy. Boss Coder has helped 1200 plus working professionals to get their dream job through their various upskilling programs. The Transformer program is for working professionals who have up to 6 years of experience, and their Evolve program is for professionals who have more than 7 years of experience. Once you enroll in their program, you get a structured curriculum designed by industry experts where DSA, system design, full stack specialization, and everything is taken care of. You get live interactive classes with one-on-one mentorship. Regular problem solving with regular contests make your skills top notch. Their extensive mock interviews make sure that you have right skill and confidence to crack any technical interview. Once your curriculum is completed, they give you specialized sessions on resume building, LinkedIn optimizations, and 100% job opportunities. You can check out their alumni, reviews, fees, and instructors, everything on their website. I'll give the link in the description. So what are you waiting for? Go check them out.
Okay. Alright. So basically, I'll just give you an overview what depth first search algorithm is. So guys, see, whenever graph is given to us, right, let's say in graph, some these information will be given to you in the question. So what does this mean? Source means that what is the source node from which you will be starting. 5 vertices. V is the vertices. So there will be 5 vertices and there will be 5 edges. So graph is made up of vertices and edges, right? So there are 5 vertices and there are 5 edges. Now if you see what graph is, these are the edges. These are the 5 edges of the graph. So first edge is from 1 to 2, and this is an undirected graph. Okay, this is an undirected graph. So there are 2 types of graphs, undirected and directed. Undirected, there is no specific direction, right? It's you can say it's bidirectional. And in directed, there is a specific direction that it goes from this to this or go from right to left or left to right. Okay, so this graph which is given to us is undirected. Okay, so first edge is 1, 2 means that there is an edge from one vertex to second vertex. Okay, then there is an edge from 1 to 0. So, and this is from 2 to 1 also and from 1 to 2 also, right? It's undirected. There is no specific direction. So you can go from here to here or you can go from here to here. Okay, then you have 1 to 0. So from 1 to 0 you have an edge. Okay, you have an edge. Then you have from 0 to 2. So between these two, you also have an edge. Then you have 2 and 3. So you have 2 and 3. So 3, you have an edge. And then you have 2 and 4. So from 2, you have another to 4. So this is something like how your graph looks like. Okay, this is your graph. Now what basically we have to do, right? We have to start from this source vertex, which is this one. This is your source. Okay, this is your source. And you have to traverse each vertex of this graph. So what is depth first search, right? What is depth? Depth first search. Okay, depth first search is basically you have to search, right? So whenever you are searching, let's say you have an array. So whenever in an array you are searching, like let's some element, you traverse the entire array, right? To find out that element. So here also depth first search, this is the algorithm to search a vertex or node. Basically in this algorithm, we just go to every vertex once. Okay, what we do in this algorithm is we go to every vertex once. Okay, every vertex once. So I hope you understood what basically DFS is, and I hope it has given you a brief introduction about depth first search algorithm and graphs. So see guys, I hope you guys have done trees, right? So in trees, we have something like, let's say this is a tree. Okay, this is a tree. So guys, in trees, right, you cannot have a cycle. You cannot anytime encounter a cycle. What do you mean by cycle? Basically a loop. Let's say something like this, right? This is a loop. You start from this source and you reach back to this source. So this is a loop. But in a tree, right, you cannot have loop anytime because see, how will you have loop? There is no connection between the siblings, right? So you cannot have a loop or a cycle here. But in a graph, right? In a graph, you can have a cycle or a loop. So in that case, it might happen that I'm again and again coming to this one node. So see what happens. Let's say this is your graph. Okay. In this, you start from 1, you go to 2, then you go to 3, then you go to 4, and then you go to 1 again, and then you go to 2 again. So this will be an infinite loop. This will happen infinitely. This will be an infinite loop. Right? This is a problem. So whenever you are traversing, right, which we do in depth first search, this is a problem that you may encounter a loop in a graph. Right? This will not be a problem in trees because obviously there is no connection between siblings, right? So you cannot have a loop in this case. So how can we rectify this or how can we solve this problem? Right? How can we solve this problem? So see, we can solve this problem by doing one thing. Let's say this is a graph, right? So in this case, when you start traversing from this source, which is 1, you take an array, you have an array which will tell you that, okay, you have traversed over this edge, over this vertex. So we start from 1, right? So we mark it as visited. Okay, let's say initially this is your array, right? So you have 1, 2, 3, 4 vertex. So 1, 2, 3, 4 will be representing that. And initially, let's say everything is false. It's a Boolean array. Now you have 1, right? So 1, you are currently at this 1, so you make it as true, which signifies that this is visited. Like this, you have already visited this vertex. Okay, then you go to this 2 and you just check first that whether this 2 is visited. No, it's not visited, right? So you can go to this 2. So you go to 2 and then you mark this 2 also as true, which means it's visited now. Then you see whether 3 is visited. No, it's not visited. So you go to 3 and you mark it as visited. Okay, and then you check whether 4 is visited. No, it's not visited. So you go to 4 and mark it as visited. Okay, now see very carefully. Now you will see whether 1 is visited. You see, yes, 1 is visited. It's true. So you will not go again to 1. That's it. So, guys, with this visited array, right? With this visited array, you can keep a track of which vertex is visited. Which vertex is visited. And this can avoid infinite loops. Infinite loops. So I hope you understood why we need a visited array in case of graphs. Okay, in case of graphs. So now you are clear with every basic thing. So let's start with the algorithm, depth first search algorithm. We will dry run it. So guys, now since we have understood what basically are the basics of graphs and what depth first search algorithm is, now let's quickly dry run this algorithm and see how this algorithm works. Okay, so first of all, from these edges, right, which is given to me in the problem, I'll just create a graph quickly. So 1, 2, then you have 1, 0, okay, then you have 0, 2, and then you have 2, 3, and then you have 2, 4. So guys, as we all know, right, when we have to represent this kind of a graph, so this is visually you are representing here, like this is visual. But if you have to represent this graph in code, right, you have to use adjacency list or adjacency matrix. Right, so adjacency list we will be creating. So if you are not aware of what adjacency list is, I would highly recommend just check out my adjacency list video, like what adjacency list is, and then you will be clear. So see, we will be creating adjacency list. So for this edge, right, first it's 1, 2. So for 1 you will have 2, and from 2 also you will have 1. So this is 1. So this will be basically an array, and this is your key, right, and this is your value. Okay, something like this. So let me just let me do one thing. Okay, I'll just write it here on. Okay, see, then you have 1, 0. So here you will have 0, and for 0 also, since it's undirected, right, so you will have both of this. Then you have 0, 2. Okay, so it will be 2, 0, and 0, 2, so you will add here. Then you have 2, 3. So it will be 2 here, and for 3 also you will add 2. And then you have 2, 4. So it will be 4 here, and for 4 you will add 2. Okay, so this is what your adjacency list is. Something like this. Alright, this is your adjacency list. Now, current in the problem, right, it's given that your current source is 1. And let's create also visited array so that we can mark which nodes are visited. Because you know, right, it will lead to cycle otherwise. So see, if you see, there is this loop, right? So if you do not keep this visited array, you will stuck in this loop forever. So this is your visited array. Okay, now let's start the algorithm. Okay, very interesting. Let's start the algorithm. So first of all, we are at this, right? So let me just quickly keep it check. Yeah. So we are at the source vertex. So first step, what we will do in your output, right? You just need to tell that what will be the order in which you will traverse this graph. So first, let's say you go to 1 because source is 1. Then you from this 1, right, you can go to either 2 or you can go to 0. It doesn't matter. You can choose any of these. So let's say I am choosing 2. Then from this 2, either I can go to 4, either I can go to 3, or I can go to 0. Can I go to 1? No, because that will lead to a loop. 1 is already visited, right? So from this 2, I can go to 4, 3, or 0. So let's say I go to 0. Okay, then I come to 0, and from 0 I see that I cannot go to 2 because it's already visited. I cannot go to 1 because it's already visited. So there is nothing I can go, nowhere I can go from 0. So I just backtrack now and I go to 2 again. So from this 2 we went to 0, right? Now from this 2 we will go to 3. And then from 3 also there is no further part. So we backtrack, and from 2 we go to 4. So basically this will be your output. Okay. So basically I just told you like how your output, what your output will be. Now let's see the steps, how we will be going about it. Okay. So see, this is your source, right? So first of all, whenever you are at any vertex, you will print that vertex. Okay, so I'm just erasing this output, and in the output, right, let's say I have an output array. So in that, first of all, one we add, and after that mark this vertex as visited. Okay, so this one I will initially all of these are false, right? I will mark this as true, and after that I will see now from this vertex which all vertices I can go, adjacent vertices. Okay, so for that I will use the adjacency list. This is for the adjacent. Now here adjacency list will come into action. Okay, so from for one, right, what all vertex you can visit? You can either visit 2 or you can visit 0. So let's say I choose 2. So from here, now I am here at 2. Okay, so first of all, what I will do, I will print this vertex and then I will mark it as visited. Okay, once I have done that, now what I will do, I will see which all adjacent vertices of 2 I can traverse. So for 2, right, you can either go to 1, but you cannot go to 1 because 1 is already visited, right? So no need to go to again 1. You can go to 0. So I'll choose 0. I'll go to 0. So from here, I'll go to 0. So I will print that vertex and will mark 0 as visited. Okay. And then I will see from 0 which all vertices I can go. So from 0, either I can go to 1, but it's already visited, right? Then I can go to 2, but again it's already visited. So from 0, there is no further vertex I can go. So from here, now see, when you were at this 2, right, you chose to go to 0. And but there are these still options left, right? And now you explored 0 and you did not got any further path. So now you will do backtracking. So in backtracking, you come again to this 2, and from this 2 now you choose 3. So from this 2 you now choose to go to 3. Okay, you will understand in the code, don't worry. Now this 3 will be printed and you will mark it as visited. So this will be marked as visited. Now for this 3, if you see the adjacent vertices, you have only 2, but it's already visited. So you do not have any other option left. So you have done this, you have traversed this 3, and now you don't have any other option to go. So you backtrack to 2 again, as you have done from 0, right? So you come here again, and from this 2, now their option is to go to 4. So you go to 4 and you print it and you mark it as visited, and you see whether from 4 you can go to where. So you can go to 2, but it's already visited. So you do not have any other option. So you go back to 2 again. You go to back to 2 again. Right. Now from 2, right, you have traversed all the possible options, and now there is no possible option left. So from this 2 also you will backtrack, and this 2 you got from where? You got from this one, right? When you were traversing this one, you went to this 2. So you will backtrack. So from this 2, right, you go to this one again because now you have done backtracking. And from this one, you have another option to go to 0. So you go to 0, but you see it's already visited, right? So you will not go to 0 again. And this is how now no option is left. And this is how your entire graph is printed. So this is how, guys, DFS works, right? This is how DFS works. I hope you understood the algorithm, right? It's very important to understand algorithm, how it's working, and basically these three are the steps every time happening, and how backtracking is working here. So let's quickly see the code now for all 3 languages. We will discuss C++ first, and then we will discuss Java, and at last we will be discussing Python. So you can check out the timelines in description and just skip to the particular section. So guys, let's see the code for this problem. This was the test case which I've taken for explanation, in which we have 5 vertices, 5 edges, which are these, and the source was 1. So this was the graph, okay? And this was the output which we got. So if you see 1, 2, 0, 3, 4, we got. You can also get different, like you can first go to, from 1 you can go to 0, and then from that you can go to 2, and then you can go to 4 first, and then 3, and all of these answers are correct, right? So you can see. Okay, so let's see. First of all, we in the main function, right? You can just check out the code from this link. In the main function, we have 5 vertices. These are the variables, and we are creating this adjacency list. Okay. Now, what was adjacency list? It was a map, kind of a map. Okay, wherein this is your key, which is your integer, and your value was vector, right, of integers. Vector of integers, right? 2, 0, and all that. So here, basically you can create a map, or you can create a vector or vector int, basically a 2D array. So this is a 2D array kind of which they have taken here. Okay, and here now they are creating the edges. So these all edges which are there, right, they are adding it in the adjacency list. So how they are adding that? They pass this adjacency list, and then they pass the first, which is 1, and then they pass second, which is 2. And in this add edge function, what they are doing? They are basically adding for s, right? For the first, they add the destination as t, and for t also they add destination as s. So which we were doing also, right? So if you remember, let's say if your edge is 1, 2. So for 1, you add 2, and for 2, you add 1. Okay. So this same thing which they are doing here. And after that, they call this DFS function. So in this DFS function, they make this visited array, initially give value as false, and then they call recursively DFS function, recursive function, in which they are passing this adjacency list, the visited array, and the source vertex. So this is the main code of DFS, where we are doing these 3 steps which we discussed, right? These 3 steps which we discussed, we are doing here. So first of all, you print the vertex. So here you are printing the vertex, and you mark the vertex as visited, and then you check the adjacency vertices of the current vertex and just see if they are not visited. Then you call the DFS to visit them. Okay, this is how your DFS is working. So I hope you understood this, right? For the complexity, you can just move to the final section. You can just see the timeline, and for the complexity analysis of DFS, you can check that section. So guys, let's see the Java code. So in the test case which I have taken for explanation, right, we had 5 vertices, 5 edges, and these were the edges, and the source was 1. So this was the graph. Okay, and this was the output. So let's quickly see the code for this. So see, we have taken 5 vertices, right, and we have taken this adjacency list, which is a 2D array basically. Okay, for so it's basically like for every index, right, you have, let's say you have size 5, size vertex which is 5 vertices, so something like this. So we have a list of 5 size, and at every index, right, you have further a list of integers. So here further you have a list of integers which you will be storing that, okay, this 0 has adjacent vertices, which like it has 2 adjacent vertex, 1 as adjacent vertex, and all that. Similarly for here also you have this list which will tell you what all are the adjacent vertices to 4. Okay, so this is how you have created this adjacency list. Then you basically adding, as I said, right, this list at every vertex. Okay, at every index you are adding this list, right? That is that loop for doing that. Where here also you'll be adding like that, and here also. Then these are the edges. So now you are creating this adjacency list, right? You are adding the edges. You go to each edge one by one, and you add it in the adjacency list. So add edge function, what it is doing, it is basically adding in the this adjacency list. So how? See, let's say your edge is 1 comma 2, right? So you go to this one vertex, you see this one, okay, you get this array, and from this array, right, you add in 2. So you add here 2. Okay, so this is how you're doing it. You get that 1 and you add the 2 vertex here. So you have added in 1, you have added 2, and from in 2 also you will add 1. So you will get this 2 array. Okay, and in that you will just add 1. So because this is undirected graph, right? So you will add in both the words. So this is how you have created the adjacency list. And after that, you are calling this DFS function in which you are passing the source from where you have to start and the adjacency list. So in this DFS function, you have created this visited array of boolean. This is basically a boolean array. As I told you, initial values will be false and the size will be the size of the vertex. And then you will call the this DFS recursive function in which you are passing the adjacency list, the visited array and the source. And in that, first of all, these 3 steps we will be following. So these 3 steps, wherein you first print the vertex, then you mark it as visited, and then you go to its adjacency vertices. So first you have marked it as visited, you print the vertex, and then you check you get all its adjacent vertices from the adjacency list, and if they are not visited, you call the recursive function to visit them. Okay, this is how your DFS is working. So I hope you understood the code for DFS. For the time complexity and space complexity, right? Just move to the complexity analysis section. You can check the timeline in the description. So guys, I hope you understood what depth first search algorithm is, and now see the code for that. So in the test case which I have taken for explanation, right, I have taken 5 vertices and there were 5 edges which were these, and the source was 1. So this was the graph. Now let's understand the code in Python. So first of all, we have taken this 5 vertices and we have created this adjacency list, which is basically at every position we have a array of length 5, which is vertex, and at every position there is a list. So something like this it is. Like you have created, you have 5 vertices, right? So I have taken a list. I have 5 sides, okay, and at every index, right, you have an empty list. Something like this is how you have created your adjacency list. Alright, now after that you will these are your edges which is given in the question, and now you will go to each edge and add it in the adjacency list. So this add edge function is adding a particular edge to the adjacency list. So you go to each edge. So let's say you go to 1 comma 2 and you pass 1 and 2 in this function and also this adjacency list which you have created. And what this add edge function is doing, basically it adds the corresponding vertices in each other. So see, let's say your edge is 1 comma 2, right? So what it will do, it will go to the 1 index first, this index, and in its array, right, it will add 2, something like this. So here, right, it will add 2 in its here. And for also, since this is an undirected graph, so this also makes sense, right? 1 comma 2 or 2 comma 1. So for this 2 also, it will take this array and it will add 1 in it. Similarly, when you get 2 comma 4, right, you add in 2, you add 4. So here in 2, you also add 4, and in 4, you add 2. So this is how basically your adjacency list will be created. You once you have traversed all the edges. After that, you call this DFS function, and in this DFS function, you have taken this visited array and you're calling this recursive function, which is your actual DFS function, in which you are passing adjacency list and the visited array and the source vertex. And here, first of all, in this function, right, you are doing these 3 steps which we discussed, which is you first of all print the vertex, then mark it as visited, and then you go to its adjacency vertices. So you mark the vertex as visited, you print it, and then you go to its other edges, its adjacent vertices which are not visited, and call the recursive DFS function. So I hope you understood the code for DFS, right? For the time complexity, let's see the time complexity analysis section. And yeah. So see guys, for the time complexity of DFS algorithm, right, it's very interesting. Just listen it carefully, okay? Time complexity of DFS algorithm. See guys, in DFS, let's say you have a graph, right? You have a graph. So basically what you do is if you start from here, you one by one go to each vertex, right? You one by one go to each vertex. Each vertex. So that means that you visit every vertex once, right? You visit every vertex once. So it will be O of V. Plus, also for when you, let's say when you visit this one, right? You check which all edges of this vertex you can go to. Like, can you go to this or you can go to this, right? That will be O of E. So that will combine your this complexity to O V plus E. This is your time complexity. And your space complexity is that you're taking this visited array, right? So it's O of V. Since you're taking the visited array. So I hope you understood the time complexity analysis and space complexity analysis. Let me know in the comments if you have any doubt. I hope this DFS video was helpful and you have finally understood what depth first search algorithm is and how it works. And if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. If you found this video helpful, please share with your friends and like this video, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.